If you don't know quite what you're doing, but you really want to jump into something, that's where franchising is the key to the success stories, right? We spend so much time figuring out what's going to be the playbook. How are we going to operate? How is this going to function? And then 3 years down the line, you change it if you own your own business, right? Because it didn't work or we found a better option. Franchising has done that for you. They've given you that operational playbook. They're giving you the tools and experience for you to say, okay, I got this. Take the tools, take the opportunity, take the leap because you've got the safety net, but go ahead and fly on your own. Hey, my name is Desiré Stephens, and I am a franchise advisor at Franchise Sidekick. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, super close here, went to school at Millard West, but in that whole process, I was actually a gymnast. I'd originally always wanted to be out in California, so I thought, okay, let's go UCLA, let's go Cal State Fullerton, something like that. And then my little sister was born when I was 16 years old. And then my little brother was born when I was 17. I like to say that I never cried before they were born, and now I just cried at the sight of two people hugging. They made the softer side of me. So I wanted to see them grow up. And so I went to Nebraska, got offered a full ride scholarship there, immediately said yes, ended up getting to compete an amazing 4 years at Nebraska. My first 2 years, I was actually pre-med. And I was like, okay, I want to be a doctor. I want to go out and I want to change lives. And then I took an acting class. And it turns out I didn't want to be a doctor, I wanted to be on Grey's Anatomy. I wanted to change lives, right? The Derek Shepard statement. After college, I took 6 months and I just kind of went home and got everything together, and I moved out to California for acting. Having that gymnastics background, I went into a little bit of stunt work as well, jumping off of 20-foot buildings and landing on this little foam mat. Then COVID hit, and it was like, okay, well, what do we do next? And I said, well, let's look into franchising. So fitness was like the idea, but then we would get on the phone, we'd be like, the NBA shut down. What's going on, And so as time progressed, it was like, maybe fitness isn't the best idea right now. And so that's when I kind of moved into what was called my fast lane track, and I talked to Tyler. They had all these brands and they had all these options, and he kept showing me stuff, and obviously I was interested in fitness. I was interested in, things where I could be active and help people, but I was also super conscious that I was in Los Angeles. It's not cheap to live in Los Angeles. It's not cheap to own real estate, to pay for a brick and mortar, certain things like that. So the home service business kind of came into play, and Mosquito Shield kept popping up. And he said to me, I know it's not sexy. And I am here sitting thinking pest control. Yeah, no, it's not sexy. But the ROI was. We looked at it and like, man, there's an opportunity there. Are there mosquitoes in California, right? That was the next big thing. It's a cool opportunity, but if we can't sell it, we can't make money. And so I went and I knocked on doors. I went to a territory that I thought was gonna be, exciting, and I knocked on doors. And I was like, hey, not selling anything yet, but do you guys have mosquitoes? And enough people said yes to pull that trigger. And so I went from a nice cushion job in the fitness industry, and I was gonna leave all that for what could be nothing. And I started it out of my Brentwood apartment. The van sat on the side of the street. It got broken into one time, we went through the trials and tribulations, but I ended up quadrupling maybe in my first year. Now we've got 3 vans and we're rocking and rolling. So, I think 3 months ago I had gotten to that point where I felt like I wasn't doing a lot and I wanted to do more, and I reached out to Tyler again, and this franchise advisor position came up. And the biggest thing for me that really hit home that I wanted to be a part of this was they have so many brands that they represent that give back to the client, right? So what are you looking to do, right? Are you looking to gain time back? Are you looking for extra money? So we're meeting them where they're at. We're using our tools to meet them where they're at to get to their goal. Being a part of that journey, and then now being able to give that journey back to people, is a huge game changer, because I can be like, I have been in your shoes, not only as a franchisee, but as someone who went through this process as well. When I really thought about it, I'm a gymnast, I was an athlete. So for me, when I was answering that question, I said, you know what, the second string is the best sidekick, because they understand, their role. they're pushing the first string to be the best. They're always trying to win them out, right? As a gymnast, there's about 12 to 14 people on the team. Only the top 6 compete. So you're competing with your teammates each week to compete for your team. So once you don't make that lineup, your role shifts, You're worried about, how do I make it so that they're the best for that game? I'm worried about the name on the front of my jersey, not on my back. Certain things like that. So when I thought about a sidekick, to me it was the second string, just because athletics has always been a part of my life.